let's get Hebrews 13 and 4, right? Check this out.
Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 4.
You understand you can't smoke weed, right? You understand that, right? You understand you cannot smoke weed. Now, hold that. Get Sirach 19, verse 1. Right? You're not allowed to smoke weed, bro. You're defiling yourself. You're making your mind slower. Right? When you smoke weed, we're not productive as a people.
Bring it out.
Let the marijuana go.
That's right.
Right? Read that.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 19 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
A laboring man that is given to drunkenness.
So a laboring man. That's you said you got stress in your life. That's why you smoke weed. Now we're gonna equate that to labor in your life. Read it again.
A laboring man that is given to drunkenness.
A laboring man who's given to drunkenness, meaning your altered state of mind, which is what you got weed for.
Right.
Read.
Shall not be rich.
What?
Shall not be rich.
You don't know anybody who's successful who smoke weed. Unless they rapping about killing their own people.
Right.
Rapping weed and rapping about the things that are keeping our people on the bottom.
Right.
But you don't know anybody who's successful who smoke weed.
That's right.
And he that contemneth small things shall fall by little and little.
By little by little. So it doesn't just start with weed. You think the bass heads on the corner started out with bass?
Bring it out. Bring it
They
out.
started out where? They started out with weed, and it progressed, and it progressed, and it progressed. And you'll see as you get older, the people you smoke weed with now, a lot of them is going to end up on the corner.
That's right.
A lot of them is going to end up in a jacked up situation because they don't have anybody to show them any better than what we've been taught.
Right.
Go back. Right, so it's imperative that you stop smoking the weed. You too, bro, put the weed down. It's not doing you any good, is it?
Right. Bring it out.
Is it? It makes our people dumb, bro.
Right.
Read down. Read that.
Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 4.
Bring it out.
Marriage is honorable in all.
What does God say about marriage? Now, what did we just read? Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Marriage is honorable in all.
It says marriage is honorable. Your parents married? Your parents are married, husband and wife? They were, but they split. Your parents married? They not, right? Read it again.
Marriage is honorable in
A
all.
lot of us up here, their parents weren't married either. And because our parents are split and the influences of society, we taught to what? Sleep around with as many women as we can.
Right.
Right.
Have as many sexual partners as possible.
Right.
Right. And you already know, in your age, there's people becoming pregnant right now.
That's
Right.
For sure, right? Is that a situation you want to be in? So what must you do to avoid being in the same condition?
Bring it out.
What is a man with any common sense, what's he gonna do to make sure he don't end up with a baby mama?
Bring it out.
Read
right.
Read that.
Marriage is honorable in all.
Read.
And the bed undefiled.
So when you're married, have all the sex you want to have. Read.
But whoremongers.
But whoremonger, which is what you are doing right now.
Right.
Right now, you turning our sisters into whores.
Right.
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 And
Right.
adulterers.
And adulterers, meaning when you are married, having sex outside of your marriage. Read.
God will judge.
God will what?
God will judge.
God will judge you with an STD.
Right.
God will judge you with a baby that you did not want.
Right.
God will judge you with child support.
Right.
Paying all the way up until you're 45 years old.
Right.
Right.
We have to stop with the impropriety with sexual behavior.
Bring it out.
Stop having sex. Sirach 42 and verse 10. Start at verse 9. You gotta let that go.
Right.
You got a sister? You have how old is your sister? She's 9 years old. So she looks up to you, I'm sure. Right now, imagine when she gets to be your age, that there's some knucklehead Negro getting at her the same way you be getting at these girls.
Right.
What's your attitude about that?
Bring it out.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to.
It's all good. We right here, bro.
You wouldn't want that. So
Right.
if we wouldn't want that for our sister, why would we want that for our sisters?
Bring it out.
Why would we want that for our own people?
Right.
Right? Read what you got.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 42, verse 9. The father waketh for the daughter.
The father waketh for the daughter. What
Right.
does that mean? When the father waketh for the daughter. Meaning the father's up late at night worried about his daughter. Right? Read it again.
The father waketh for the daughter.
A father, it has to be a tent of what's going on with his daughter's life. Right? Read.
When no man knoweth.
When no man knows, because the father is the most important man to any woman. You agree with that, sis? Hey, sis. Read it again.
The father waketh for the daughter. When no man knoweth.
Read.
And the care for her taketh away sleep.
So that man is up late at night worried about his daughter. If
Right.
he's a good father. If he
right.
gives a damn.
Right.
Read.
When she is young,
When she is young,
lest she pass away the flower of her age.
lest she pass away the flower of her age. He's talking about her virginity.
Right.
So there's supposed to be a father guarding our daughters from men, from whoremongers.
Right.
So imagine again what you doing to a man's legacy, to his daughter. and laying down with her and defiling her.
Right.
She's passing away the flower of her age because we're not taught any restraint.
Right.
We're not taught that that's a princess from the tribe of Judah.
Right.
You can't just come at her any old kind of way.
Right.
You got to be prepared to do what? If you want to have sex with this woman, what do you have to do to be prepared? You got to be prepared to marry.
That's right.
Are you in a position to marry my daughter? My sister? Are you in a position to do that? No. So why are you having sex?
Right. That's right.
Well, you see what I'm saying? It's a setup. It's a setup to make sure that you are ruined for the rest of your life.
Right.
We don't want that. It's not a good way to jump off starting your life already being behind because you have a child when you were 16, 17 years old.
Right.
There's no way to go into life. You plan on going to college? You go where? You want to go to city college to study what? It's all right. It's all right. It's okay. You know, take your time. Start to figure out what it means to be a man.
Right.
1 Timothy 5 is 8. You gotta understand what it means to be a man. Right now, you're not a man yet. Right? Your father, you involved with your father at all? You talk to him a little bit? Okay. All right. Go ahead and read that.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 5, verse 8.
Bring it up.
But if any provide not for his own,
If any man provides not for his own, what does that mean to provide for your own? How? What do you need?
Having a job.
You gotta have a job. You have a job?
I mean, that's what I'm doing now.
You got a real job? Okay. So if any man doesn't have a job, right, he can't earn money to provide for his family.
Right.
Go ahead.
and especially for those of his own house,
Of his own house. You got your own house? You live with your mama? So how you having sex in your mama's house?
Bring it out.
What kind of mess is that?
that's right.
Right.
When she comes home and she sees you doing that, what's gonna happen? She gonna whip your ass, man.
Right.
You need your ass whipped for doing that. That's a shame, bro. You're not supposed to be doing that.
Right.
You're not supposed to, a girl's not supposed to be pregnant in her father's house.
That's right.
That's supposed to be having. That's how you know it's wrong because you have to hide it.
Right.
That's how you know it's wrong because you got to do it in secret.
Let 'em know.
Nobody's home.
Right.
When your daddy leaving, I'm coming over. Right. I'm gonna leave before he get back.
Right.
We
Bring it
all
up.
know we do it behind closed doors.
Right.
But you gotta have some more discipline about yourself. That's all bad. Read it again.
But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house,
Read.
he hath denied the faith,
Read.
and is worse
You're worse than what?
than an infidel.
You're worse than an infidel. So a man who can't provide for his family, protect his family, it's like you don't believe in God. Right? So if you're not prepared to take on the responsibilities of having a family, you already split yourself. You should stop having sex.
Right.
Right? Let that part of your life go until you're ready to provide and protect for a young daughter. First comes love, then comes marriage. Right? And then you can have all the sex you want to have. But until then, bro, we gotta really think about what we're doing.
Right.
That's verse 572. Right?
That's right.
Now again, the music. What's the music about? Rapping about what? Murder? You ain't killed nobody, have you? You don't seem like a killer to me. But
Male.
huh?
I mean, talking about shooting each other.
Talking about murder? You know that's bad, right? We talking about drugs.
Yeah, drugs.
What about the sex? Right. All these things that go against God.
That's right.
Right? We're not supposed to be. We got to think about the agenda behind the scenes and why our music is like that.
Right.
Go ahead and read.
The book of 1 Ezra, chapter 5, verse 72.
Bring it out.
But the heathen of the land,
But the heathen of the land. So just so you know, a heathen is anybody who's not an Israelite.
Right.
That means the so-called white man, Chinese man, Arab man, right? East
Right.
Indian man. These are all heathen. Read it again.
but the heathen of the land,
Any other race that's not yours, read.
lying heavy upon the inhabitants of Judea,
Lying heavily relying heavily upon the inhabitants of Judea. That means they rely on us for a particular reason. Read.
And holding them straight.
And what?
Holding them straight.
They oppress us on purpose. Read.
Hindered their building.
Did what?
Hindered their building.
What does it mean to hinder building? If I hinder something, am I helping it or am I slowing it down? So they're doing what?
Hindered their building.
There's an agenda to hinder our building.
Right.
The 12 tribes of Israel are meant to rule the earth.
That's right.
But our building has been hindered by all the influence. 1 Corinthians 15:33. Our building has been hindered even from learning that Christ is not a white person.
Right.
By being taught he's white. By being taught we can do whatever we want.
Right.
Those things hinder the building. Now our minds as young people are not focused on what? They're not focused on God.
Right.
They're not focused on God's tabernacle and his
That's right.
responsibilities.
Right.
On making sure his people are not sinning. Read that.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 33.
Bring it out.
Be not deceived.
Don't let yourself get played out here.
Right.
Read.
Evil communication.
Evil communication. That's your rap music.
Right.
That's your inappropriate movies.
Right.
Things like that. Read it again.
Be not deceived. Evil communications.
When we have evil communications, when we're letting these things resonate into our spirit.
Right.
Listening to it. Looking at it. That's evil communication. You letting the media talk to you.
Right.
Influence you on how to act. As opposed to God. Read.
Evil communications corrupt.
Corrupt. What does it mean to corrupt?
Like something's good. Like something's good.
And you
turn
correct
it
it,
bad.
right? You turn it bad. Read it again.
Be not deceived.
Don't play yourself.
Evil communications
Read.
corrupt
Turn bad.
good
They
manners.
turn bad good manners. So God gives us good manners, but when we listen to things, when we're looking at things that are evil,
Right.
it's going to corrupt our behavior. It's
Bring
going
it
to
out.
influence us to act in a certain way.
Right.
You ever heard of an expression, life imitates art? Life imitates art. My man, you ever heard that before? That life imitates art? I'm asking you. Have you ever heard that before, that life imitates art?
I can't say that.
It's all right. It's an expression that means that what we see is what we're going to do.
Right.
So when
Right.
you look at black men, the so-called black men, the tribe of Judah, what are we influenced to do by media?
Bring it out.
Are we influenced to love our wives or have a bunch of hoes? Are we influenced to embrace our brother or kill somebody who looked like me?
Bring it
Bring it
out.
out.
Are we influenced to do things that are of God's nature or are we influenced to do things of the devil?
Right.
Help me out. We influenced, so you got a girlfriend? Is that of God's nature?
Bring it out.
Help him out, Zach. Is that of God's nature to have a girlfriend? No, it ain't.
Right. That's right.
Everything we've been taught as a people, we got to start to rethink.
Right.
Because you're not black at all.
Right.
Your nationality is tribe of Judah.
Right.
Right?
Right.
You have a royal lineage that goes all the way back to the Bible.
Right.
All the way back to God and things that God requires of your people.
Right.
I'm going to show you that. Deuteronomy 10 and verse 12. And my brother Zach's been learning for a minute. He knows he's an Israelite now. From the what tribe you from? He from the tribe of Judah.
That's
We'll
right.
never be calling ourselves African American again.
Right.
Black, colored, Negro, none of that.
Right.
None of
Right.
that is in the Bible.
Right.
None of that depicts your illustrious history.
Right.
Your heritage is erased when you call yourself
Let them
black.
know.
That's right.
Word black means absence of light.
That's right.
Read that.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 10 verse 12.
Bring it out.
And now Israel.
And now Israel, my brother, you are an Israelite. What's your name?
Justin.
Justin? Justin is an Israelite from the tribe of Judah.
Right.
Your father black? Read it again.
And now Israel.
That's you, Justin, and your father. Read.
What doth the Lord thy God require of thee?
What does God require? So
Bring it
Justin,
out.
Zach, if God requires something of me, can I say no, I don't want to do that? Can I tell God no? No, not if I don't want to die. Right?
But to fear the Lord thy
We're
God.
required to fear God. We know we don't. If I fear God, I wouldn't sell drugs to my people.
Right.
If I fear God, I would want to know. If I didn't fear God, I would be okay with the conditions of my people.
Right.
We fear God. That's why we're not okay with it.
Right.
We know
Right.
the reason for the oppression. We trying to stop
Right.
it.
Right.
We trying to overturn it to put you back on top.
That's right.
Read.
Right.
To walk in all his ways.
To what?
To walk in all his ways.
Justin, what's that mean to walk in all his ways?
Walk in all his ways.
Yeah, that means everything that's written in this book, we got to do it.
Right. That's
That
right.
means everything that's written in this book, we got to do it.
Right.
We got to, by the T, to the letter, bro. Read.
And to love him.
To love God. You love God, right? You love God, yeah? You love God? Read.
And to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
Read.
To keep the commandments of the Lord.
To what?
To keep the commandments of the Lord.
What's required of Justin?
To keep the commandments of the Lord.
And what's required of Zach?
To keep the commandments of the Lord.
What's required of every black and Hispanic man?
To keep the commandments of the Lord.
That's
If
right.
you do not keep God's commandments, do you really love him?
Bring it out.
Bring it out.
No, you do not love God if you do not keep God's commandments.
Right.
There's churches filled with our people clapping hands, singing
Right.
songs, going home, eating pork and shrimp,
Right.
thinking that they love God because they have a zeal of God, but no knowledge.
Bring
Right.
it out.
Right.
Any knowledge of what God requires of them. We follow in a
Bring
slave
it out, Doc.
doctrine. What is a nation?
Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models.